Well, Camden Chinese Community Centre, well, I think you should be aware that the founder of this centre was my mother, and she was the first Chinese social worker in Camden. And it was through her work and campaigning, etc., that the centre started 30 years ago. And she, sometime along the line, about 3 or 5 years after they got together, managed to get some funding, capital funding, and they bought a building in Arlington Road, which is in Camden Town. So that's where the centre was, but it was just a terraced house. And she was very close to the community, and there weren't many Chinese communities. I think quite a few centres opened round about a similar sort of time. But being a social worker who was actually involved with the Chinese people, she knew the needs, so she could articulate those needs to Camden. And they started with a women's group, and they used to run the women's group in YMCA in Tottenham Court Road. So that could put the children on a par with other children in the community. So they started a women's group, the nursery. They started a luncheon club at that stage, you know, for all the Chinese people. It was targeted at people who are on low income benefits, elderly, because you could see the elderly needing a lot of help. One of the criteria for this centre when I was looking for a building was it had to be en route to Chinatown, because all the elderly want to get easily to Chinatown. So it's on the Piccadilly line. It's got all the buses that you could hope for going through, to Piccadilly Circus and Leicester Square. So I think what actually happens is people from other centres come here. The political mood is not to support ethnic groups, and it's moving away from that, and we can see that from funding. So that has an impact on us. But the other problem for us is because we are good citizens, and I don't say that lightly, that's my own observations, and we get penalized. So our youth don't get into trouble. About 5 years ago, we lost the funding for the youths. I spoke to Camden. Camden said, well, Lincoln, your Chinese youth don't cause us any problems. We have problems with Bangladeshi and Somali kids, so we have to put money in there. So we lost funding. You know, I think we managed quite well. A lot of it's through fundraising and small pockets of money, but we don't have any big funders. And we get a few £1,000s here and there where people like what they do and want to support us, but we're still showing a surplus and we're still having that turnover, so I think the centre's doing pretty well. I mean, it's well supported by the members, the people, and I think it's got a very good reputation as a centre.